who's your choice for camp sleeper that shows up and really surprises people? Not a high round pick. Someone few are talking about that can shine in camp.
Is Herbig considered that?
Yeah.
So he's not on this list, or I can't put him on the list?
I think you can. Yeah, I think you can answer with Herbig.
I feel like Herbig is ready, bro. Like, I want to see just him stay healthy, but I think that he's ready to put on a show. The same way when Heisman started to step up and we started to see him be like, yo, who's this kid? He keep making plays out here. I feel like with Herbig, man, he's going to start showing some of that this year. So I'm going to go with him.
Can I say Roman Wilson?
He's not that's
third round pick?
Yeah. He was the first or the second third round pick?
I think he shows up and stakes his claim as our slot receiver once training camp's done. Training camp and preseason's done.
Because he has legit competition in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my call.
Would you say he's the favorite or not just yet? I know he was the draft pick, so we're excited about him. But would you say he's the favorite over like a Calvin Austin or even
as a slot guy? Yeah.
Okay.
Calvin already got a year to try to showcase that, and it just
he could run really routes, man. He run routes, bro. Don't do me like that, bro. Don't do me like that, man.
Yeah, Quez Watkins. I mean, Scotty Miller's probably his best competition for the slot. I mean, Calvin Austin's he's.
Are you talking about Super Bowl champion Scotty Miller? Is that who you talking about?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about that slot spot. Like Calvin Austin, I'm hoping he can be what we think he can be. But I don't know if that's necessarily going to be cooking in the slot. He's going to be a deep threat, too.
I want to see you down in the grass, yeah.
So, honestly, I mean, who's Roman Wilson competing with here?
That's what I'm saying.
It's really just Scotty Miller, I'd say. I mean, I guess you could throw Calvin Austin in the mix, but I think Roman Wilson will beat out Calvin Austin. I think he'll beat out Scotty Miller, too, so that's why I'm picking him.
No, fair. I like that. I mean, if we're being real, I think Roman, of the three that you just named, is the best well-rounded in terms of ability to win, short area quickness, catching, and run out the catch.
Toughness, blocking, too.
I think he brings all that to the table. I think if it wasn't for his being a little bit smaller, he could be a number 2 on the outside. But he's just, like I said, a little bit smaller, so that's why it's more of the slot. But, yeah, he could definitely do all that. Whereas you think of Calvin, he's more limited and more straight line speed, and then with Scotty, it's more Scotty quick and nice, too, though, bro. He's a little older, though. He's a little older.
Is there any chance Calvin Austin can play the outside?
I personally don't think he can just yet. I think that it takes a lot to consistently do that as a smaller guy on the outside. I think if he's 6'3", 6'4", and he's just a down-the-grass speed guy, I think you can get away with it because he can still be out there and block. He can still
That's like Quez Watkins.
Right. He could do some of the other stuff. Calvin right now, I look at it as I don't even personally want him on the point because I think if he gets pressed up, it's going to be an issue. We start to see that some. I like him as the in the slot motion guy, get him in the second part of that bunch, and now he's the guy that you got to run with. You can't get hands on him. I think if you put him out there as the wide receiver 2 and he's the point of the attack dude, he's the guy that's on that line versus a Dante Jackson, right?
Almost maybe like a Debo.
Yes, exactly like that.
From Calvin Austin.
Yes. I want him getting that ball on the move where he's able to get that speed and actually utilize it to his advantage versus him, straight off the line now, hey, try to beat this press from a dude that's 6'1", 6'2" with very long arms. JPJ types, right? We see what these corners are starting to look like more of. Corey Trice types. It's like, bro, all y'all just...
Corey Trice is my other answer. If I could do a defense answer, Corey Trice is definitely my answer on defense, too, for this. Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah, thanks for bringing him up.
Yeah.
What were we saying?
No, so okay, so what was I just talking about? Oh my god,
Calvin Austin going up against corners. Yeah,
so
guys like
with the longer arm though.
Trice.
So it's like this. It's like, man, you can put him out there, and in certain situations, if we're just talking about, hey, run this route, can you win on a vertical? Can you win on a post? Can you win on a corner? Sure, but if you're playing wide receiver 2, you're not just out there for 3 plays a game and you're only running those 3 routes. You're out there for more than just that. You're going to have to do the blocking. You're going to have to do some of the other stuff being at the point. You're going to have to be able to beat the pressure. You're going to have to do a lot more than just these couple of things. And I just personally haven't seen that type of consistency from Calvin just yet. Part of it is because he's a smaller guy, though. So it's like, yo, could you do it? We've seen a Tyreek Hill have a ton of success out there. But there's a reason why we don't say it's 30 Tyreek Hills, right? Because just because a person is very fast, if they're small, they have to also be very skilled in the sense of how to combat these taller, longer defenders. And that's the part where we're trying to see, can Calvin consistently get that? Because otherwise what you're going to do is you're going to put him out there because he's fast and because we like him. But we're going to be in these games and it's like, yeah, we can't really look over there right now because he's not getting the separation that we need. And he's not this big body that you could just throw up to and just say, hey, GP, make his right. That's the other part when you're talking about him as a wide receiver 2 on the outside, where I'm like, yo, you put him on that inside. It just gives him better matchups. You're facing the smaller of the 3 corners because usually your slot corner is not as 6'1"-ish, 6'2"-ish. He's usually, 5'10", might even be a 5'9", depending on some of these dudes. And I just think that benefits Calvin a lot more than him trying to live on that outside.
Yeah. And it wouldn't be in a traditional slot role. And that's how I would see Roman Wilson being utilized here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What could we be doing? We could go 4 wide, I guess, have 2 guys in the slot or something. I don't know.
Yeah. It's multiple ways that we'll be able to utilize him.
I think Calvin Austin being our wide receiver 4 would be a good problem to have.
Mm-hmm.
And being someone we can rely on.
And the matchup that he gets in that setting, that almost amplifies his talent because now he's not having to punch against cornerback 1, cornerback 2. Heck, it ain't even cornerback 3. We talking about, this is the 4th corner. Think about when we've talked about our 4th corner at times and who that could be in this conversation at times. That's definitely a matchup that we will be looking at Calvin and saying, we expect you to win this one. And I think that puts him in a way better situation. I think it helps out Russ also because it's just an easier matchup for Calvin to win on. So it's going to naturally give you a little bit more confidence if you're the quarterback that this guy can consistently get open right there.
Because we're seeing some people in the chat bring up that Russell Wilson talked about Calvin Austin like a Tyler Lockett.
Mm-hmm.
Youngboy24 says Russ called Calvin Austin Tyler Lockett.
Mm-hmm.
Mano says CA3 reminds me of a Tyler Lockett from Seattle.
He has the potential.
He needs to get bigger.
But once again, how many Tyler Lockett's are there? That's the other part of it. Because most of the time, it takes a lot for that type of player to play in that type of position and have the success that he's having, or at least had. We're going to see, can Calvin do that, man? But you even said it yourself, man. Calvin ain't as big as my man Tyler Lockett. Tyler still got a little bit of size on him.
Yeah. Let's get UW. Reiterates that too. Says Russ had some high praise for CA3. I would love if Russ helps him take the next step to be our number 2 or competes with GP for number 1. That ain't happening.
Why not?
That ain't happening.
If he could get into that Tyler Lockett level, I mean, that's Tyler Lockett is, wide receiver 1-ish.
That ain't happening.
Let me see. I mean, shoot, just last year, what my man, what did he hit us with last year?
GP had 1,106 touchdowns last year, and that's with our carousel
all I'm
of
saying is if Calvin could get to Tyler Lockett level, Tyler Lockett since 2018 is, last year he had 895, 965 and 18. Then he does 1,057, 1,054, 1,175, 1,033, 9 tutties, 8 tutties, 10 tutties, 8 tutties, 10 tutties. If Calvin Austin gets to that, bro, yeah, man, I think
that's more wide receiver 2 to me, but it's solid. That's awesome. It'd be awesome if he could be wide receiver 2.
Is that not everything not everything that Pickens has already done though? He ain't got there yet.
Pickens got 1,100 last year.
Yeah, I said he had an 11 and 8 touchdowns.
I mean, but that's what we know. There was a lot more meat left on the bone with Pickens last year. Not only with his own immaturities at times, but also the quarterback play.
Shout out. That boy
I mean, he could have easily had another touchdown in the Titans game.
Hey, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know what you're talking about. All right. He left it out there because it was just too difficult to get that foot down, man. He just couldn't get it.